about confrontation, violence?
Oh, was that the question you were asking?
Yeah.
See, that's another thing. When you talk about a revolution, most people think violence, without realizing that the real content of any kind of revolutionary thrust lies in the principles and the goals that you're striving for, not in the way you reach them. You reach
Hey everybody coming in. It's Angie. Um I know that the saga has been coming to an end, right? It's coming to a close. But I just want to clarify to everyone who may have not known that I have been speaking on the topic of the accusations of Kevin Wesley. Kevin Wesley and LaTruth, also Robert Hampton, are brothers. And so this family as a whole has been facing a lot of accusations, and they've been a hot topic for the while. So of course, my last video, I acknowledge them as a whole. Okay, I am no way speaking on the saga. I am still justifying, especially with Kevin Wesley, the accusations that he's been having to defend himself from for years, far longer than the saga even started. And I am going to clarify some things for Brother LaTruth as well. Okay. Now, in my last video, after my video, I had some commenters who came in to ask some questions as far as the cancer. And also, I saw Kevin's video, and it dawned on me that a lot of people aren't necessarily aware of what a tube actually is. Hey, Lakeisha. Hey, Mama. Thank you for coming in. So today, I want to give some information, share some insight so that people can understand what tubes are, and then I can elaborate and give some clarity on some of the questions. Somebody asked, what treatment did he have? So I'm going to clarify that as well. Okay. And what I'm looking for is not for anyone to be offended. I'm looking for, hey, Miss White, thank you for coming in, Mama. Lakeisha says, Kevin is amazing. He has shared your platform on many occasions. Thank you for being you, Angie. You are so amazing. You guys are amazing. You know what I noticed about a lot of us? You guys are in this with your heart. You know, you guys are in this with your heart. And so we all want the right things together. And that's why I started my channel, my platform, because my heart told me to. You know, I was so nervous in the beginning, and speaking out in public is not a easy thing for me. So that's why I wanted to speak out, because I felt like something, in me, it was necessary. And so I will continue to speak. Everybody may not be welcoming to that, and that's okay. I accept that, because all of the friction and the tension and everything that has occurred. But my platform is open to any questions. If they have any questions, if anybody has any questions, I'm willing to answer these things. But I will highlight to everyone that these questions have been answered by these people themselves. Okay? But I will do this, okay? Yes, Miss Lakeisha. Miss Lakeisha said my son also had a feeding tube and the food, so I know a little something. Yes. It's very difficult to speak out in public. I was shy talking in front of the class in college. Yes, I am nervous when it comes to that. Miss White says hello, and Lakeisha says my son also. Okay, yes, I saw that. Thank you. And then let me see. Miss White, I can't stay long, but will definitely catch the replay, Mama. Just wanted you to know you're supported. Thank you so much, Miss White. I really appreciate it. Miss White also gave a shout out to Miss Lakeisha. Thank everybody for coming in. Y'all, my last video, shouts out to everyone. That was major for me. I was nervous, but the spirit was moving. And I appreciate everybody for coming in. Let me see. The nervousness is a sign of purity. Thank you, Miss White. Thank you so much. It really means a lot, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to present something to you guys. First thing I want to do is, I think I'm going to go ahead and show pictures of tubes. A lot of people are they're confused about what an actual tube is. So let me go ahead and try to see if I can show pictures of it, okay? Right here, and this is just a Google search away, okay? These containers, they're considered tubes. You see these wires are plastic flexible things. They come in different shapes and sizes. These are tubes as well. And a lot of these tubes have different reasoning. I call them medical straws. You want to know why? They come in different shapes and sizes, depending on the size of a cup, depending on the drink. You got coffee straws. See these different sides of tubes? These are tubes, okay? And these tubes, not just the container tubes, these tubes are used for different reasonings, okay? And you can use this for catheters. They use tubes for IVs. They use tubes for blood transfusions. They use tube for medication. Tubes are straws, okay? They are the transport or the portal from the external to the internal, or the internal to the external. The only thing that makes them different, because they are defined by what they are being utilized for. Now, tubes that are used for drainage, at the end of the tube, they have extra holes on the side with inside the bag or the container that the fluids are being released to, so that it can help with the process of release. Okay, the tube have no control as to whether something is being released or not. It's actually just the transporter. It is the middle object. Okay, you cannot define someone's medical treatment or medical condition by a supply. Okay, this is only a supply. And I had to break this down, because what I realized is a lot of people are determining what it is based upon the supply. Okay, and not only that, but I also have a couple of images that I would like to share. And so let me see if I could get it. Okay. Right here. Can everybody see that? This right here is an image of Kevin Wesley's, first time procedure. And you can see down here, he had tubes with bags. And these are his drainage tubes. And then this first top circle is the tubes for his feeding. Okay. And this is when he had his stomach removal. Okay. Now, let me see, which way do I want to go? This right here. This line right here. This is the esophagus. You have the upper esophagus. You have the lower esophagus. Okay. And this right here is a stomach. What happened in his procedure is they took out the stomach. They took this line right here and they connected it to his intestines. So envision this without the stomach area and know that this is right here connected to the intestines. Okay. And that is why he needed the tube feeding for the nutrients to go through his intestines. Okay. And then when he started to eat solid foods, his lower intestines is what they were trying to enlarge so that it can become a substitute stomach. Okay. Now, and later on, and I'll show it, he had a bowel obstruction. Okay. And a bowel obstruction is only talking about the intestines. Okay. So then he had a feeding tube in the lower area. Okay. Because of that procedure as well. Let me see. And this is an example of a feeding tube. Now, I'm going to show you guys something. Okay. Let me see something really quickly. Hey, Kimberly, thank you for coming in. A lot of people have been speaking on it, and they say, well, I know what a feeding tube is, and, I know what a drainage tube is, but you cannot compare, because when they talk about the abdominal region only means area, the whereabout, the about space. So there are a lot of procedures that happen in this area, whether it be plastic surgery, whether it be any other type of emergency surgery, any type of thing. So if you have tubes that are placed in different areas, you get what I'm saying, for either drainage or for receiving of nutrients, it can be for numerous reasons. They're not all the same. You cannot determine somebody's condition because of a medical supply. It is literally a tube. It's a medical straw. That's what I like to call it. If you take a cup and you pour some water in it and you close the lid and you put a straw in and you secure it to make sure nothing is completely sealed, you place that cup upside down, it becomes a drainage because the water comes out of the straw. Okay, that makes sense? But if you take the cup and you place it upright and you want to pour liquid through the straw, then you would either pour the liquid or you would use a device to pour into the straw. And there you go, you have a feeding tube. Does this make sense to everyone? You know, I didn't want to have to break that down very long, but it was evident to me that a lot of people may have not understood what it meant. Hey, Divinely, thank you for coming. Divinely, I don't think a lot of people necessarily understood what it meant when he was saying he had a feeding tube. Now, some people may have had shorter tubes or longer tubes. Some people have, they're tubes, you guys. It's a tube. It's a medical straw. That doesn't determine anybody's medical procedure, okay? Divinely said, this is a damn shame that y'all have to show this to these ignorant. Bless everyone's heart, Divinely, because, you know, a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people are scared to ask questions. And to me, it's no such thing as a stupid question. You get what I'm saying? The first thing you have to do is be willing to ask. Don't be ashamed to ask. It doesn't have to be something that's harmful or hateful. You get what I'm saying? But when you refuse to ask the question and you just stand on, you know what you're talking about, it makes you look bad. Okay? And Google is just a click away for everyone. Everyone can do this same research, okay? But I have something else that I want to explain to everyone, okay? Because somebody asked the type of treatment that he received, right? And I'll just explain, because they said that they also had cancer and they had cancer treatment. So here we go. And this states, I hope everybody can see it, but I'm going to read it out loud, okay? Types of cancer treatment. There are many types of cancer treatment. The types of treatment that you receive will depend on the type of cancer you have and how advanced it is. Some people with cancer will have only one treatment, but most people have a combination of treatments, such as surgery with chemotherapy and radiation therapy, okay? So that means that we have 3 different forms of treatment for cancer. Everybody's cancer is not necessarily treated the same. It depends on what type of cancer you have and how advanced it is, and that will help to determine which treatment you get or how many of these treatments you get, okay? And I want to clarify that for anyone who misunderstands. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to have one. Some people just have surgery. Some people go through chemotherapy. Some people go through radiation therapy and have surgery. You get what I'm saying? It's just simply put, y'all, you're putting too much to it. You're basing it off of your own experiences. Some people with cancer treatment and some people with different types of surgery. You know? Okay? Hey, Jackie, thank you for coming in. So what we have to understand here is, when we really want to know something, we have to understand that the medical practice, they treat patients according to patient. So when you treat patients according to patient, you cannot place your experience to determine another patient's experience. It's just simply put, okay? But I also have something else that I want to explain to everyone, okay? So I'll go to this one. And this right here is the CDH1 genetic mutation. This is the genetic trait that this family has had, okay? And it's hereditary, and I'll read it. It says, Hereditary diffuse stomach cancer is incredibly difficult to detect in its early stages. Because of this, it is recommended that patients with CDH1 mutation have a total gastrectomy. That means a total stomach removal. And that was their treatment, y'all. They had their stomach removed to eliminate their risk of developing stomach cancer. Okay? Kevin had preventative. He removed his stomach. Now, Brother LaTruth was a little stubborn. He wanted to try to do the healthy route, go vegan, change his diet and exercise, and he ended up with stage 1 cancer. He had cancer, okay? Not only that, but Kevin, before the procedure of his stomach removal, he actually had the I want to say it was the knots in his breast cancer, and he had the surgery to have those removed. Okay, so yes, he did have it. Okay, and he had preventative stomach cancer by removing his stomach. Okay, and you cannot determine that by a tube. Okay, I'll show this. Let me see if I can show this real quick so I can clarify to everyone a little bit, a little bit more. Let me see. All right, now remember, Kevin posted this on his page, right? And I think that some people got confused because they looked at these pictures. And because you didn't see the bottom of it, you assume that it had a bag at the end of this tube. But no, it does not. And I think he has more pictures to give certain proof on the internet, on Facebook, okay? Let me see if I could get to the next picture. If it'll show. Because he had two different placements of tube feeding. One was in the upper area, and that was his beginning after he had his stomach removal, and then he had to go back after a while for his lower his bowel obstruction. So then they placed the tube down there as well for feeding nutrients. And I think, and this is just my assumption, that it possibly was a complication with him with his intestines, because the stomach is the digestive system and it's gone. And so it's something that is not necessarily normal all the time. I guess the pictures don't want to show right now, and that's okay. Hey, Lady Love, thank you for coming. Negro Rap, what's up, you? I thank everybody for coming. But I also have another thing that I want to show everyone. And I'm going to show this, okay? Let me get out of this real quick. Because I think that a lot of people, oh, here it goes. It's showing now. So now I can go back to this. Let me present my screen. This man placed his entire medical records on the internet. You get what I'm saying? And he shouldn't have had to do that. Let me see. Kevin, thank you for coming in the building. Shout out to everyone. Shout out. Kevin, I got you, bro. I got you. Do you guys see this? This is where he had his feeding tube in the bowel and the intestines. It's in the lower region. Now, because everybody sees this lineage, they're saying that this was because he was having it was for drainage. No, these tubes all appear similar all the time, you guys. But that doesn't mean that there's a bag at the end of this tube to receive drainage. If that was the case, I don't think he would have been holding it up. He's actually holding it up. So it looks as if, he wants things to be going within and not coming out. If something was coming out, he wouldn't be lifting it up. That's just common sense. See here, this is another angle where it was placed in the lower intestine area. You see this? This is a feeding tube. And this straw, the straw, I call it a medical straw. It is only an equipment that is used for from external to internal, or from internal to external. It is a transporter. It literally has no control. It is a medical straw. The only way you can control what happens within this straw is depending on how you hold it. If it is downwards from him and it has a bag at the bottom, then of course it's for drainage. But if he is holding it up, since he is clearly holding it up, which is something you wouldn't want to do with a drainage tube, that means he is utilizing this medical straw to place nutrients within it, to go internal. Okay? This is literally, I don't know how to break it down anymore, but your experiences in life cannot determine somebody else's. Am I making sense to everyone? Let me read some of these comments. Lady Love says, I can't stay because I'm at work, but it's a shame to even have to do a live for a bunch of foolish people. I have dealt with cancer for 5 years now. Well, some keep popping on my screen, and I don't know anyone who would just say that. Lady Love, you are a strong person. Thank you for your testimony, even in the midst. And I totally agree with you. The fact that I had to even break down different forms of tubes is it's very confusing to me a little bit. But I understand, people need to break that fear of wanting to ask a question instead of just jumping to conclusions, because it's just easier that way. And Kevin says, a lot of people are saying I shouldn't have showed my records, but please understand they have been lying for 6 years passionately. This shows how badly they lie. Yes, Kevin. It's crazy. And all they had to do was ask. All anyone has to do is ask. Before you assume, ask. And Lakeisha says the tube food also helps to keep his weight stabilized, because you lose lots of weight after that surgery. He needed that tube food. It has so much healthy nutrition that he needed to help him. Yes. And Lakeisha also says you're making perfect sense. Thank you so much. And Miss White says, Kevin, I don't think you should have had to do it, but I do understand why you did. It really should shut them all down with the foolery. Yes. And Negro Rav, shout out to you, brother, for coming in. Said these people will make you show your soul to prove it's real. Facts. Like, come on, over a feeding tube, y'all. Like, we really doing this over a feeding tube, or what they call a drainage tube. Like, it comes a point in time where, we got to start asking ourselves the proper questions. Does that make sense? Do you know that drainage tubes can be used in your leg? You get what I'm saying? They can be used in different parts of your body, depending on what needs to be drained, inflammation, fluids, liquids, excess of anything. Not only that, but the feeding tube is primarily for the abdominal region, the area, whether it be upper or lower. Somebody shouldn't have to explain whether they had stomach removal or cancer or anything because of a medical straw being placed in their stomach. That doesn't determine anything. And not only that, but he placed his medical records online. And not and even to close that out, you get what I'm saying? You don't know. The only person that can prove it is him. If anybody can prove that what he had is not true, then they should have placed out documentation, because your word cannot stand up against somebody placing medical records. If you don't believe the medical records, move on, because at a certain point of time, it becomes harassment. Like, it really does become harassment. The receipt don't come no better than that. Thank you, Miss White. Lakeisha said, Kevin not the one to play with. He gonna prove them wrong every time. They lying on his life. Kevin not the one to play with, so they need to pick someone else. Thanks. And then Kevin says, thanks, Miss White. And it also shows the public. I'm honest, just in case the bad doubts because of what they say. Just because they had doubts because of what they say, they always say so. Everybody's lying. Yes, thank you. And divinely, there's a hormone called ghrelin, and it's in your stomach. It drives the will to eat. Remove your stomach, piece of your stomach, and that hormone is gone. It's gone, y'all. It's gone. But I also have this video right here, because a lot of people don't want me to talk on the subject of the saga, and I won't. But I do have this video. Shout out to Lupac. If you guys are not familiar with her channel, I'm going to show this video from her channel. Amazing content creator. Jackie says some people don't realize that the information about the stomach cancer gene was information to find out if you carry that gene. Exactly. And in this video, she's proven something that I think a lot of people did not get to see. So I want to play it, and we're going to take a look at this video.
Use Kayak to book flights on days that cost less.
Y'all, please
download the Kayak app
show her
now.
some love.
Hey, to all my Lupac loves. Okay, y'all. So I've been seeing the topic floating around of whether or not LaTruth has cancer. And it's crazy because we've been over this so many times. Like, the proof is literally out there. And what also adds to the craziness is the factors of the wife being the one to literally come out here and tell the world that her husband has had cancer, and also being the one to come out and say that he didn't have it, it was a preventative surgery done. So let's tap into the proof that's been floating around. Check this out, y'all.
Okay, so basically, before they even went through a divorce, y'all, I told y'all before, she came out. She was showing pictures of him in the hospital, explaining to everyone that he had cancer. When after his surgery, she came and told everyone, all of her prayer warriors. She started praising God. She even started speaking in tongues. And I don't want to mimic the speaking of tongues, because I know that everybody, has their beliefs, and I'm not to be offensive. But she was speaking in tongues and crying in tears. And she was saying, thank you, God, for saving my husband. Thank you for saving him from cancer. But as of recently, within, I want to say less than a week ago, she was on someone's panel and she says, and he never had cancer. Now, I don't, right now is not the moment for me to clarify the domestic violence dispute within their marriage. You get what I'm saying? But right now is for me to get everyone to understand that even if you believe she was a victim of domestic violence, she yet and still lied about these accusations of cancer. Hey, bitch.
Emotional damage.
And my brother, he was riddled with ulcers.
Okay.
So he got his stomach removed just for, preventive.
Yeah.
Now, right here, LaTruth is speaking of Kevin because everyone wanted to go ahead and get screened for the genetic traits because their mother had passed, their older sister had passed. And so all of the siblings, they went ahead and started going to get tested, right? And so, but Kevin, in his situation, his stomach was filled with ulcers. So they weren't able to do the screening. So for preventative treatment, he went ahead and had his stomach removed. That is not the same situation for LaTruth. LaTruth had cancer, okay?
But now, I mean, I'm sure Dr. Sharma explained to you that there is cancer there.
Yeah, he said early stage. Yeah,
Very early
cancer.
stage.
Very early, yeah.
It's still, I think it's really important. I didn't see any recent imaging.
Early stage cancer. This is an appointment that he had where the doctor stated to him that this is his early stages of cancer. The cancer is there. And he actually has the full clip video on his page if anybody wants to do further research on the video. But what I want to highlight to you guys is LaTruth holding this camera? No, he's not holding the camera. His doctor is speaking. He's in the doctor's office, in the room with him, you know, the patient room. Who's holding the camera? And not only that, look at his weight. Does he look big enough to have weight loss surgery even right here in his early stages of cancer? Ask yourself.
Okay, y'all. So I'm going to explain this for the last time for the ones in the back. You need bare minimum education to understand that, yes, as you can hear the doctor state, he did have cancer. However, it was caught in the early stage, which means he didn't have a typical cancer battle as other people who catch it late, stage 3, stage 4, where they're bedridden or anything like that. His battle was trying to keep it together, juicing his fruits, doing all of these other things, plus the stress of just knowing that you have cancer. So it wasn't a preventative surgery. A preventative surgery would have been him not having it and then taking his stomach out to decrease the chances of him catching it and it spreading. He had it. He removed it. He removed his stomach because he had cancer, right?
Whoa.
And stopped it from spreading. That's not a preventative surgery. A preventative surgery would have been what Kevin did, which was knew he had the gene, knew it was a chance of him catching cancer, and taking his stomach out to prevent it altogether.
Yes, LaTruth had cancer, and he was hard-headed. He didn't get the stomach removal immediately. His early stages, they caught it. In his early stages of cancer being active, they caught it. But he did not immediately get his stomach removed. His cancer was still in progression while he was trying to do natural remedies. But before he could get severely far gone, he caved in. He decided to go ahead and get his stomach removed. Okay?
Oh, Lord have mercy. So I'm going to replay it one more time, just the clip, just the part of the doctor saying, do you understand that you do have cancer? Check this out.
And my brother, he was riddled with ulcers.
Okay.
So he got his stomach removed just for, preventive.
Yeah. But now, I mean, I'm sure Dr. Sharma explained to you that there is cancer there.
Yeah, he said early stage. Yeah,
very early stage.
Very early, yeah.
It's still, I think it's really important. I didn't see any recent imaging on you.
And pretty much. Let me play it out for y'all to get her channel. Please, Lupop baby, shout out to your mama. Okay? He had cancer. Look how healthy he was in that video. Shout out to you, Break Room, for coming through. The wife is the one that was recording while the doctor was explaining to him that he had active cancer. So if anybody's lying, she brought it to the internet. Go ask her what the truth is. Okay? Was she telling the truth or was she lying then? Was she telling the truth in the beginning or was she lying in the beginning? Was she telling the truth in the end or was she lying in the end? Okay? The same questions you have for LaTruth, you have to have for her, because nobody on the internet would have known if she did not put it out here. Okay? That was my point. I'm not going into the personal situation of their relationship. I think all of the content creators that were in the saga did a very good job pertaining to that. My part in this situation is to clear Kevin Wesley and to also clarify, and I can't just clarify Kevin Wesley's cancer without mentioning his brother's cancer. It was a family genetic situation. And not only that, but the people that have been taunting Kevin have been taunting his family as well about the genetic cancer. So thus you have me explaining it. Okay. I had people ask in my comments, and some people wanted me to stop talking about it, go to a different subject. I definitely moving into the subject of hate crime, hate speech. Okay. Most definitely going to do that. Let me see what everybody got to say so far. Lady Love says, Angie, a feeding tube is a draining tube is different. A feeding tube is placed into the stomach or intestine for nutrients. A draining tube is inserted in the nerve or the valve. Yes, the insertion of it. You're right, Lady Love. I forgot to include that. It's the placement. It is the placement. And so you can't necessarily see the placement inside of their body. And most of the time, the drainage does end up at the bottom of the stomach. But, in some cases, in different procedures, they may have fluid in the upper area. You get what I'm saying? But most definitely, it is the placement from which the tube is inside the body. You can't determine that because you're looking at the bendable, flexible object. Like, come on, you guys. Like, you can't do that. It's a medical straw, okay? A medical straw. Lakeisha says, big facts. Lupac Love. She's amazing, y'all. Let me see. Lakeisha says, everyone, please press that like button as you come in. Angie very much appreciates everyone's support. I surely do. I appreciate everyone come in, whether you may agree or not. You guys come in and don't be afraid to ask questions, because that is the best way to get understanding. Miss White says, so true. I still have to remind myself to eat 16 years after. Yes, I can't pronounce it, so I won't make myself look crazy, Miss White. But yes, I understand completely. A lot of these procedures, they can affect your eating habits. They can affect, a lot of things occur within these transitions in our lives, and they have to be considered. You know what I'm saying? I've had medical situations in my life as well, but I don't use that to draw my conclusion for somebody else's experience. It's not fair. Every patient is different. Doctors treat every patient according to what, their medical information, their weight, their height, their blood levels, their strength, the severity. You get what I'm saying? Like the possible complications, their allergies, everything takes a role. So whatever happens to you, whatever result that you had from your experiences, it cannot determine somebody else's result. That's not fair, okay? So their treatment for their cancer was immediate stomach removal, because the CDH1 gene requires it. It's a requirement. Okay. And not only that, let's see. Lakeisha, yes, he is speaking on Kevin in this moment. Yes, they're brothers. How can you explain one without the other? Kevin was smart. Big ups, bro. Lakeisha said, look how healthy LaTruth looked. What made him lose weight was juicing and working out. But they lie and say he lost weight because of cancer. Well, eventually cancer may play a role, but you're definitely right. He lost weight because he was trying to clean up that situation before having to get his stomach removed, which was wise at the same time, if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a very serious surgery. It's a serious procedure. But yes, he lost weight because he was dieting, he was exercising, he was trying to find a different route. He was fighting for himself before he, had the ultimate surgery. And, this family, they had wisdom. Kevin said, let me go ahead and do the preventative care. I've already had the situation with my breast. So let me go ahead and let me have the preventative care and just automatically remove. It's clear that I have ulcers in my stomach anyway, and then LaTrue said, I want to try the natural route, see how it goes. If it worsens, I'll go ahead and settle for the stomach surgery. And that's what he did. You guys, that's literally what was done. Lakeisha says, the wife came out and told the world, not him. I watched every video, so they need to stop lying, saying he didn't have cancer. It's crazy to me how they can determine whether he didn't have it off of, the last minute mind change, when there were so many videos of her, showing him in the hospital and, things in that sort, and even thanking everyone for praying for him and thanking God in front of everyone for, delivering him from cancer, even recording in the doctor's office, the doctor stating to him that he has cancer. That's crazy to me. But this family has been taking all of the questions, yes. Mua says, peace, queen. Thank you for coming in. Texas, what up, mama? Kevin says, if it spreads past the stomach, it's too late. Exactly. So the CDH1, the article that I showed you guys, they said it is highly recommended, and it is the highest recommendation. They immediately remove the stomach, because if it spreads past that, they're done. There's no going back. You get what I'm saying? This is a different form of cancer. You get what I'm saying? It's a rarity. So when you have different cancers, you have different treatments. Some people, we have brain cancer, lung cancer, stomach cancer, breast cancer. It's different forms of cancer. I had family members who passed from cancer. Everyone that goes through cancer doesn't always necessarily go through specifically the same, even though it causes the sickness, it causes similarities in the health. It doesn't mean that it is the same. Okay, but it's not fair. It's not fair. Some people go through chemotherapy. Some people go through radiation therapy. Some people go through either or and even surgery. You get what I'm saying? But it's okay if they had the surgery and they were able to be completed. You guys. Lakeisha says, I would say majority of the weight loss came from dieting, but he lost a few pounds after the surgery. Yes, he did. And Kevin lost a lot of weight after his surgery, especially with him having to go back and have his bowel obstruction surgery, because, he had complications, even after the surgery, that a lot of people didn't consider, and his first procedure with the breast surgery, he went through a transition with that, and I know that it was a form of being uncomfortable. It's a different reality, you know what I'm saying? So he may have put on a few pounds, but neither one of these guys were big enough to have weight loss surgery. When you have weight loss surgery, you have to be a certain size. And just because you're big does not mean that you meet that size, okay? And there's no need for a tummy tuck if they didn't lose the weight to have a tummy tuck, okay? So it's contradictions within, accusations that just don't make enough sense. We have to ask ourselves sometimes, does it really make sense? And if you really wanted to know what size they were before they even had the stomach removal, because LaTruth had already lost weight. Kevin had even lost weight before they had a little bit of weight before they had the surgery. You see, Kevin had a little tummy after the surgery. You get what I'm saying? So that tummy was his whole tummy plus swelling, and it wasn't even that big. So he can't have any weight loss. As a matter of fact, let me show it one more time so people can understand. Like, that makes no sense whatsoever for him to need surgery, weight loss surgery. And even after the surgery, he wasn't even that big, y'all. He wasn't even that big. Y'all, look at his stomach. If they were cutting his stomach, taking his stomach organ out, or partial stomach removal for weight loss, where is the weight? Where is the weight? He wasn't even that big. Is what I'm trying to get people to understand. Nobody's using logic. Everybody's using emotions. I mean, it's when we can just ask these questions. He had the drainage tubes right after surgery, right? And then right here is this feeding tube. Okay? That's it. It's simply put, y'all. And then Negro Ralph. MF can't even take care of their own health without judgment. Right. Josephine, thank you for coming in, mama. She says, good afternoon, everyone. Kevin Wesley says, bro ended up with stage 2 cancer. Once they removed the stomach and examined it, he juiced and exercised, but I believe the cancer also caused a lot of weight loss. Boom, boom, boom. And there's pictures of Brother LaTruth before he had his stomach removal. He had got so healthy, you guys. He already had a 6-pack going and everything, So, and of course, he's losing weight because the cancer and because he's trying to transition his health. So that's a double whammy. And when he went in and had the procedure, the fear of him getting smaller after the procedure, because now he has to go on another transition of needing to be fed through tubes. You get what I'm saying? And not being able to intake heavy food for a while. Of course, they both got smaller due to that, Okay, so let's think about this. And I hope that I broke it down for everyone. And then anybody who didn't catch the beginning, please, the beginning is the high topic of me showing the information, and I'll go back on it. I can do that. I got time. Why not? Lakeisha says, I must say, Kevin and LaTruth eat very healthy because they were both very built with big muscles and they keep themselves at a nice steady weight, shows their persistence. Yes, and not only that, I know that a lot of people were saying, well, he was vegan. He was eating vegan food. A form of food does not determine whether he needed tube feeding. Tube feeding is not a regular shake. And as a matter of fact, let me see. Let me show this. Okay. Tube feeding involves placing a feeding tube through the nose, the mouth, or directly into the stomach or intestines. Okay, everybody sees that? Stomach or intestines, which in these two cases, it was their stomach, and Kevin had the intestines area as well due to his bowel instruction. A bowel is nothing but the intestines, okay? And through a surgical procedure, liquid nutrition formulas specifically designed to meet the patient's nutritional requirements are administered through the tube using a syringe or an electric pump, okay? Either or. So at the end of that tube that everybody is talking about, the tube is nothing but the medical straw, y'all. At the end of the tube, they are using either a syringe or an electric pump to place the liquids, the fluids, the nutrients through the tube. It's like a flexible wiring that I call a medical straw, so that it can go directly into the body. Okay. Now, also a tube is also used in an instance for drainage, okay? But that's the one where you have the bag or container at the bottom of it collecting drainage, okay? Okay, these formulas contain a balanced mix of proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, and other necessary nutrients. These nutrients that they are doing are medical food that is combined together, doctor's approval. You cannot get this in a shake or or just eating vegan, okay? These are doctor provided, doctor approval food, okay? It's another form of like medication if you want to think about it like that. It's not over the counter food necessarily, okay? The feeding rate and formula composition are determined based on the patient's needs and tolerance. Okay, you see that? It's determined based on the patient's needs and tolerance. You know who can determine that? The doctor. Okay, the doctor. Okay. Yes, he went to stage 2. Yes, he did. They need to ask, about breast cancer. Oh, she did? You guys, you see? She had, Miss Amora had breast cancer. You guys, a lot of people have dealt with cancer. A lot of people in this situation has dealt with domestic violence and narcissism. We all came together, regardless of our perception. We saw something that we could relate to, and that's fair to say. And so, but at the end of the day, in order to get clarity from both sides, we have to be willing to hear both sides. And if we don't understand something, or if we feel like we know something, there's nothing wrong with double checking just to make sure. Well, I mean, Google is just a click away, y'all. If you want to know what a tube actually is in the medical field, and a tube is a container, or the device that is used. I call it the medical straw. Okay, it's only the transporter of liquids. It's not necessarily the main component that determines anything in anybody's medical situation. Okay. Kevin says most other people are less than 1% likely to get it. We are 80% susceptible to it. Yes, I did some research on it too, you guys. And most people with the if they ever have this genetic trait, especially in the women, they're more likely to have breast cancer as well, including the men. They're likely to have breast cancer as well because of this specific genetic trait. Okay, so it's a very serious condition that their family and close relatives as well, not just the parents and the siblings, but the cousins, the uncles, the aunties, everyone has to get checked. Some of their family members, I think that Kevin spoke on it, has passed from cancer as well, different forms of cancer, so this is a family thing that has occurred. Okay. And you cannot determine whether it's real because you're looking at a medical straw. Am I making sense? Texas, you sound in better spirits today, Angie. Yes, thank you, Miss Texas. I'm feeling a little bit better. It's been a passionate road with this saga, Miss Texas. I don't even know how much of the story you even been open to or heard about, but it's been a long road. It's been a lot of emotions from both sides, both parties. Everybody had passion in this story. Everybody, we go through our own journeys in life. And so when we see certain things happening to someone else, and we can relate to it, we can feel it, or we see it in a certain form, a lot of the times we go in head first with our emotions, so it was a lot of passionate emotion, and it caused a lot of friction. It caused a lot of ups and downs and confusion and everything like that. So yeah, it was a roller coaster, most definitely a roller coaster. You get what I'm saying? Everyone was human. Everyone um everyone felt hurt. Everyone felt love. Everyone met people. Everyone had moments of clarity. Everyone had moments of discouragement. um Everyone, regardless of perception. you know I don't know a lot of the people that were in within the saga, just like a lot of people don't know me. um I make no judgments off of that. You get what I'm saying? um but when I looked into this situation, I gave both sides consideration, especially because they're wife and husband, right? And so you want to hear both of them out. And I've heard both of them out. And neither one of them are perfect. Granted, I'll give anyone that. You get what I'm saying? And some people, they had their perception that the wife was telling the truth. And they have every right to their understanding. And in my perspective, I felt as if the husband was being falsely accused. No offense to the wife or anyone that believes her, okay? It was just in my perception, okay? That was the understanding that I gained, and it was of no favoritism whatsoever, okay? And but what I did see was um not a lot of understanding as a whole to get clarity, to have growth, you know? And so a lot of things transpired throughout the situation that was very hurtful, you know. And we all want an ending where not one side wins, but everyone gets understanding, everyone gets clarity, everyone moves on with a healthy mental. But I think that a lot of us moved on more traumatized than we were before. And so, yes, I've received a few comments of people, upset because of my last video. And I get it and I understand. So I'm not offended whatsoever. I won't be offended, But my passion that I have in this situation is because of my perception. And I have every right to it. And I am open for further clarity, or if anybody wants clarity of my perception. Okay, you get what I'm saying? Jade in the building. What's up, Jade? Said they look good when they were big. No need to get no weight loss surgery. They better. Facts, Lakeisha. Facts. And Kevin said the doctor said I was chosen because I should have died. He said the bowel obstruction should have taken me out 6 months before. Wow. 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 Yes, Lakeisha, living testimony. Kevin says, indeed, yes, a living testimony. This whole situation, like this family. Kevin, yes, a living testimony. I mean, every part of your story and your journey can be used in an example to help someone else. That's powerful. Jay says, wow, that looks like a complex medical procedure right there. Yep. Jay, most definitely. Miss White, even for what's called lightweight users, you have to have at least 2 comorbid. Miss White gonna give me these terms and proof of other remedies to even be considered a candidate for weight loss surgery. You are right. Yeah, like seriously, you guys, there is I know Latoya, she had a procedure. You get what I'm saying? But even then, even though she met the requirements, she barely met them. Okay, you get what I'm saying? You have to be in a certain bracket to be recommended for certain procedures, you guys. They don't just give it to you because you feel like it. Having partial stomach removal or anything like that, or a sleeve or anything within your stomach for weight loss, it's not for cosmetology, okay? It's not a cosmetic surgery. It's a very serious procedure for health. JTV, big up all cancer survivors. Condolences to the families who have been ravaged by this awful illness. Yes. Lakeisha, thanks for sharing, Miss White. Yes. And Kevin says, there is a video of me showing workouts to build my body back. They never show that for some reason. I guess it's because they can't say it's Photoshop. You know what, Kevin? And I'll do some research to go find that video, some of those videos as well, too, to further prove my point. And Lakeisha says, Kevin, when you come back on, let's go over that video because they will never show the real, only lies they tell. And then Kevin says, indeed, that part. Lady Love says, what I don't understand is it doesn't take a rocket scientist to even look up what CDH1 gene is. So this is why I think people just talk just because they have a mouth that opens. Facts. And that's why I want to get into the topic of because people feel like they have freedom of speech, but freedom of speech eventually turns in, it's a thin line, but it eventually turns into hate speech, and hate speech can turn into discrimination and defamation, and eventually it becomes a hate crime depending on the certain activities that transpire. And a lot of people become very unaware of the behaviors after a certain point, and that is why they're not necessarily understanding that what they're doing is if they can be charged for, or they can pay a fine for, they can be sued for, because this form of harassment is dangerous. It's not safe, and it's most definitely unfair. So the acts that have been placed within this saga, I want to highlight to everyone their behaviors, and how a lot of people acted more so of children. I felt like it was just a elementary class filled of angry children, just yelling and bickering and going haywire. And then a lot of us felt like it was in the defense for what we believed in. Granted, I understand that. That's fine to an extent, because yet and still everybody has a right to their perspective, whether you agree or not, and everyone has a right to be able to use their voice, whether you agree or not, Lakeisha says her son has cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that, Mama. That's how I know about feeding tube and that expensive food. Yes, I'm sorry to hear that, but you know what? We already speaking into existence that everything is going to be just fine. And it's going to work out for the greater good. And he too will be a walking testimony for others to see. And Lady Love says, Lakeisha, how old is your son? Yes. And he was diagnosed at age 19 and he's 28 now. He's your oldest child. And Lakeisha, my prayers are for complete healing. Yes, everyone, complete healing. And Texas says, I felt for you over the past few days, but glad it's lifted. I appreciate your spirit. No one's perfect. That's right, Miss Texas. No one is perfect. You get what I'm saying? So it's no point in, holding on to what someone may have said or done, that possibly, you didn't agree with, or possibly they didn't agree with you, what you may have done. We have to give everybody room and opportunity to grow. You get what I'm saying? We have to give everybody room and opportunity to, share perspective so that we can understand why they see the things that they see the way they see them. Why do I see the things that I see the way that I see them? Get a better understanding of my intent. Get a better understanding of, my reasoning. We don't have to bash each other and say, you're wrong. When truth be told, nobody is necessarily right or wrong. It's just the dependent of perspective, But the only thing what cannot be determined through perspective is facts, truth. And that can only be determined through logic. So regardless of how I perceive it or how it may make me feel, if it is the truth, it is the truth. So regardless of how someone may feel towards Kevin, if the truth is that he had stomach cancer, stomach removal to prevent cancer, it's the truth. It's just merely the truth. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to agree or like him because of it. It's just the truth. And so, it was hard with saying, okay, I don't care for him, but he did have his stomach removal. He showed his medical records. That's good enough for me. He went to this extent. That's good enough for me. Even if you don't believe him, I don't believe him, but he made an effort to respond to my accusations. That's good enough for me. Nobody has to be the best of friends. You don't have to say, oh, he might have been telling the truth, I might like him now. No, you don't even have to do that. It's just the moment of respect. You know what I'm saying? He gave an opportunity to give his perspective, to show his experience, to explain. You get what I'm saying? And seek of clarity. And that should be good enough. The attempt itself should be good enough for it to be left alone, right? And then Kevin says, now after seeing my chart firsthand, think about how long they have been lying about my surgery. Notice how no one had apologized or even spoke on it. Solid. Facts. He showed his entire medical records, and he shouldn't have had to do that. It's not fair to him that he would have to show this much personal information. And these accusations has been going on so long. And the crazy thing about it is the very people that came out with these accusations, they knew he had his stomach removed for this reason. They knew that he had tube feeding. They knew this. Josh, he was in control of the donations. But remember, I showed y'all on his poster, he's asking, where did the donation money go from? How are you asking that on a poster when you knew where it went? Because you stole half of it. Like, seriously, y'all. At some point, we got to understand, some people they're doing this just to target, and it's not fair. It's not okay. Someone that you considered a friend, all of a sudden, we're not friends anymore. You were here around the time when I was sick, when I was going through these surgeries, when I was going through the weight loss, when I was going through these procedures. But it's in the blink of an eye, you come out here and say, I lied to the people. I stole money from the people. I never had stomach removal. How? You didn't say any of these things when we were friends. Texas says, wow, people always trying to tell someone how to run their channel. It be like that sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And that's okay. A lot of people aren't going to necessarily agree with my channel, but that's okay. I don't have a problem with any of that. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that if we have channels that are causing an effect to somebody else, and it's okay to have opinions about somebody else, but let's have a balance. You know what I'm saying? Let's have a balance. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of people and things that they do, but I don't want to make it as if, I'm being attacking, or, just having childish behavior. I'm not trying to do any of that. You get what I'm saying? I can. You get what I'm saying? I have very slightly for one person, and I acknowledge that. You get what I'm saying? And I moved on from that, and I haven't looked back since, because I just want to be a walking example of how we can acknowledge and be accountable for ourselves, and we can make a change starting with ourselves. If we're looking to do anything for anybody out here in the world, we have to first do it for ourselves, right? And so Lakeisha says, Kevin, they will never apologize, and that is sad. You have proved your innocence on many occasions, and they will only come with more lies. It will never end because they have built their platform off. Well, I agree with you, Miss Lakeisha, but I also feel like there is an end. And some people may not be looking forward to that end. But what we have to understand is eventually there is a consequence for actions. And that's why I want to drive this into, hate speech and hate crime, to let everybody be aware. After a while, there's only so much a person can take. And if you continue, you get what I'm saying? Who can we blame if they start to, take legal action for real? Because this is harassing. It's not fair. Like, we got to just tone it down. Okay, I done said my point for 6 years now. I done said the same thing for 6 years. I even added on more stuff. At this point, let me just go ahead and just chill out. And then we can't say, well, he brought it back up. No, these are accusations on his head forever. So now we've left these people with something that they may have to clear up again in the future. And so we have to understand that we can't be sensitive to the fact that they may have to continuously bring this up. Lakeisha, of telling lies about you, what they don't understand, in what goes around comes back around. That's right. And Miss White, Kevin should, I don't know why I keep having these pop-ups. Kevin shoulda, coulda, woulda, but it didn't. That's right. Jackie, wow, look at God. This information was meant to help others. Yes. Lakeisha, baby, I love the blue smoke on the screen. You getting so good at this, Angie. Yes, I'm trying, y'all. I'm building. Lakeisha says, Kevin debunked all these lies and they still won't stop. Straight up stalkers. Facts. Miss White, my mom passed 5 years ago from stomach cancer and her sister 12 years prior. I can't get my family to clap on doctor offered testing at a closer place, but they scared. I get tested yearly from okay. Yes, Miss White, please get tested. I know a lot of people may be in fear of it. You know what I'm saying? And I can understand that too. It's an emotional thought just to even, think of having that possibility. You know what I'm saying? Baby steps. But most definitely, I encourage everyone, to the best of your will, take deep breaths, go get checked, especially if you have a lot of cancer within your family. It's hurtful sometimes, but it's wiser to be prepared. And let me see. Lakeisha says, I never seen evil spread like a wildfire into these people with all these false accusations on Kevin. They got to be bored, and they must be very unhappy people to try to hurt on an innocent man. Yes. And the crazy thing about it is they were his friends. They were people he trusted in his life. When they were friends, everything that was happening to Kevin was true. And as soon as they disagreed or was cut out, because he walked away, that was his perspective, his experience. He said he walked away from these people and they gathered together to make accusations of things that they knew was true. That's insane, y'all. Lady Love says, I just want to point out cancer patients should not eat a lot of sugar because sugar feeds the cancer cells. I took a course on cancer from Indian instructor who taught me a lot. Thank you for informing us, you guys, okay? Because it's very important. A lot of people within this saga or within the story of LaTruth and even Brianna, her mother passed away from cancer, you guys. A lot of people had testimonies of family members with cancer, you guys. So it's good to inform each other of these things, like be cautious of certain things. We got to be more vocal of these things, spreading awareness. That's my whole point. Let's spread awareness. Break room, cooking but listening. Thank you, Mama, so much. Thank you, Break Room, for coming through. I really appreciate everybody coming through. I really do. I never knew that my platform would even get this far, y'all. I just came out and spoke my mind, and before you know it, it was there. And so, I really appreciate everybody coming through. Lakeisha says, Miss White, prayers. So sorry your family, they're scared to get tested. I hope they will do it someday. You're doing a great job by getting tested every year. Yes, doing a great job, Miss White. Great job. Fantastic job. It's bravery, as a matter of fact. It takes a lot of heart and courage to continue to try to seek and have prepare yourself or have to catch it so early so that if something is to occur, you can stop it right in its tracks. It's a powerful movement to even do that. Some people can't will themselves to even the thought. So yes. Kevin Wesley says, now he's saying, I gave women STDs. Wouldn't these women have proof from their doctors with the date and time? It's so funny that a lot of women are saying a lot of things to Chief Cali, and none of them actually come out. And even the one that did come out, which was the two that came out, the exes, that admitted that they were great friends with Cali, it was a lot of contradiction in their stories, in their statements. And I did videos on that as well, if anybody wants to go back and take a look. But Shy even stated, oh, he never touched a child. What are you talking about? Nobody ever said that. You get what I'm saying? Couldn't even stick with the story, But either way, a lot of these accusations are coming from him about women and STDs, and it's like how can you necessarily come out and explain what is happening in somebody else's bedroom that you claim you're not gay, right? I mean, that's a concern that I would say, hey, if you want people to know, you need to go and talk about it. Don't bring that information to me. I don't want to talk about no sexual transmitted disease between you and another man. That's not even I don't even care about that. The thing that I'm worried about is the fact that he tried to date rape me, right? That would be the focus, right? But instead, everything else is the focus, which I find, extremely bizarre. Lakeisha says they won't stop on their own. They will have to be stopped professionally. And damn, Kevin, not STDs. It's like a new accusation almost every is once one thing is debunked, there's a new accusation. Once that's debunked, there's a new accusation. Once that's debunked, I'm gonna go back to one of the other accusations. I've noticed that it's like a never-ending train. And so, professional legal actions it is definitely the movement. You get what I'm saying? They must love Kevin, proving they is wrong. I think they actually just love Kevin talking about him. I think that's what it is at this point, whether it be good or bad. Like I say, the toddler syndrome. When you have 2-year-olds, they go through that terrible 2 stages. They don't necessarily care whether the attention is because they're misbehaving or because they're doing something good. They just appreciate the attention all in all. So it kind of resembles that. You're just happy for the attention at this point. Lady Love says, I disagree only because an intelligent person is not going to listen to someone babbling on something that don't even research before putting their mouth on people. Facts. You're right, mama. You definitely hit that one. Maybe I might be trying to be a little too nice, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? And but I most definitely agree with you. Miss White says they ain't debunk the cancer and they start with STD. It's just pure hate. With friends like that, who needs enemies? Y'all, yes, ladies, it's extreme. And Kevin says, he literally brings gossip and lies from ex-girlfriends to the internet, but says I'm wrong for saying he's cheating. He calls it tattletelling. So he don't want you to tell on him while he could continue to tell on you. And not only that, but he telling lies that don't make sense, and he changes mind about the lies every so often. First he says that it did happen, then he says he never said that, and then even in the story of him saying it, it changes up with different. I don't. It's just kind of like I've said before. He has a very colorful imagination because the things that he can create just off the top of his head that contradicts the last discussion that he had on this same topic is just wild. So, and then Kevin says, they even accuse me of things I have yet to do. Exploit the baby. The baby is only 2 months. Like, how did you exploit the baby so fast, And then leave my baby. Let me see. It says, my baby, to leave my baby because I so-called don't love him. Like, what? How would they even know what? First of all, that doesn't make sense for Kevin not to love his baby. Let's get this corrected. But if Kevin had any feelings towards his child, how would they even know, being the fact that they have not spoken to this man in years? How can you say that he's exploiting his newborn baby? Like, what are we talking about? Kevin has not, let me clarify this. Kevin has not asked for donations for anything since his surgery, and that's been years ago. And even in that situation, he clarified he only made $3,000, right? $1,200 of it was stolen. And the other was not enough for his surgery, and it was not enough for even the continuous tube feeding. And I hope that I'm saying this right in the right perspective. Hey V, how you doing? None of this makes sense whatsoever. None of it is even fair. Okay? There are a lot of people out here in this world that has gone through cancer and has survived. And everybody knows that cancer, it takes a toll on the body. It's an illness. You get what I'm saying? Some people never heal and to become quite the same as they were before. And so the fact that they've had to endure the illness of, going through the stomach removal procedures. Kevin had the breast surgery due to this, the ulcers. You get what I'm saying? The bowel obstruction, all of these things that occurred, having to fight for his health. And then the turmoil of the torment of his mental because of these accusations. It's not fair whatsoever. It's not okay. It's literally not okay. What did y'all want him to do? Did y'all want him and it's not to downplay anything. We have a lot of we have hospitals for cancer patients who go through chemotherapy, who go through radiation, and they get the opportunity to ring the bell. I understand that. They survived the journey, and so they got to ring the bell. So because Kevin and LaTruth didn't ring the bell, that means that they didn't have cancer. That's not fair, y'all. And then Jackie says, at this point, they are throwing subjects on the wall for content. And if one stick, that's what they will go with. Yeah, they said that I'm doing this for content. A lot of people said I'm just doing this for content. I only have 100 and some odd followers right now. And I'm not doing this for content. I don't even get paid. I don't even care to get paid. I'm doing this because I saw an injustice and I have a voice. And I chose to use my voice to stand up for what I saw was being an injustice to this family, to these men. And then Lady Love says, Kevin Wesley, it is possible these ladies ain't telling that man nothing. It's just the fact that it's you. Callie is just reaching for gossip. That's what women do. This, yes, I said it. Woman, yes. Lady Love, straight up. Kevin says, they said he's going to exploit that baby for donations 30 hours after he was born. That's sick. The baby didn't even have time to, be here, to exist. They said my child was sick from a picture. Like, what the fuck? So a pic told them my child was sick and that I exploited him. That's insane. Peace to everybody. V Bennett, shout out to you, mama. I called you mama. And the only reason why I said that was because I saw your next comment saying Lady Love Angie and Kevin. Peace to you, brother V. Bennett. Oh, Lacey! Shout out, mama. Peace, Angie. Thank you for all that you do for my family and much love for the shout out on your recent live. I'm honored. This family, I'm very honored to have these conversations with you guys. Like, it's amazing. I really appreciate it. You get what I'm saying? You guys are beautiful, pure, and that was my whole point, to try to clear up these things because we have a pure family who's being attacked. And that's how I saw it. But of course, Callie is saying that I'm attacking him, which is insane. How am I attacking you? By trying to clear up accusations that you placed out on the internet. You're the only source of the information. And so when Kevin comes to debunk these accusations, nobody listens to him. And, they automatically judge. I said, so why not come in and help him? Because his followers, we already know the truth. We've seen it. We've seen them explain it time and time and time again. But it's a setting of people who are refusing to sit and hear the explanation. You get what I'm saying? So let me get a shot at it. Maybe they'll sit and hear mine, right? And so Miss Andrea, thank you for coming through, mama. Shouts out to you. And I didn't know how it's wisdom, to have a seat back and just see that certain things is just it doesn't make sense to stick to an accusation like the tube. I call it a medical straw. You can't say, oh, it was a drainage tube and this and that, and not to bash anyone who has said it, because I'm pretty sure more people than him has said it, right? So it's not a bashing to anyone that has said it, but I am saying, the tube itself does not define anybody's procedure. You get what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make sense whatsoever. Okay. It's a simple Google. By the end of this, I might become a doctor because, I'm learning the CDH1 gene and the different traits, and you know what I'm saying? But one thing I did not have to study was the tube. Like, that to me should have been common sense. It's okay if it wasn't to anyone who's listening and they just weren't aware. I get it. But ask a question. Don't be ashamed to ask a question. Be ashamed that you never asked the question and you use that to assume something that you weren't sure of. Miss White, but it's his baby to exploit. If he was, although he is not, it's his child. He could take as many pictures. Lacey and Kevin can take as many pictures as they want and paste it all over the timeline. They can have a new picture up every 5 seconds. It is their baby. They have every right. Okay? If you don't like it, go to a different channel. How do you even know that they posted the baby? That's the question. How do you even know that they posted their baby online? What were you doing? What were you looking for? What were you checking for? For people who say they cannot stand these people, for people who say they don't like them, they all over their channel. How do you know? Like, how do you literally know? They knew before me, because I swear I didn't see the baby picture for a minute. I don't, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a follower. And I listen to their work. They knew before me. How? When you don't follow them, right? When you don't care about them, but somehow you knew when they placed a picture of their baby. Somehow you knew the hospital that this baby was born in. Somehow you know where they live at to make a complete video to tell this man that he should be careful. Like, come on. At some point, what is that? What is that? Why are you so concerned about somebody that you say you're not concerned about? You're saying that he's attacking you, but it's you that place out the accusations, and you place out new videos with new pictures, with new information about their life. And y'all haven't talked in person in years. Like, what are we doing? Like, it shouldn't have never got this far. And I've been saying that for a long time. It should have never got this far. So that lets me know that a lot of people aren't necessarily concerned about understanding anything pertaining to the situation. They're just using this to drive hatred. And you don't have to like someone, but everybody is free to roam on social media. No one should have to come on social media and seeing their character be, taunted with things that are discomforting. You wouldn't want it done to you. I don't care how much you don't like someone. Like, let's just be real about it. You get what I'm saying? I got the comments. Let me scroll up. Okay. That bums me. Yes, when they speak on that baby. Yes, Miss White, that was when I wanted to jump through the phone. It's called stalking. You're right, V. It's called stalking. It's literally the definition of stalking. Yes. You don't have to be like people to leave them alone. You don't have to like people to just leave them alone. Yes. What are you trying to prove? Saying that, well, these type of people, they do this to what you would, and let me tell you, because a lot of people when Callie was coming out with this conversation about the Illuminati and trying to make it seem as Kevin was in such a social class that he would be a participant of this, a lot of it made me feel like he was speaking of us, the normal class people, as if we were less than. And it kind of offended me, because I was like, huh? You know what I'm saying? They do things to us and all this and that, as if, we're it's a lot of sheeple mindsets. Don't get it wrong. But a lot of people can't easily be fooled by a Facebook page. Like, what? If you look at Kevin's work, Kevin isn't always outside with everyone all the time. He has events that he has going on. He do different type of topics or different type of conversations with people, but Kevin is not going out of his way to to linger over people in different social classes or different social or financial statuses. Like, it was just pure ignorance. Like, and I was like, people are really believing this? Is crazy. I mean, I understand the Illuminati may exist. I understand celebrities have a lot of power and they may be doing certain things. But in this situation, he hasn't placed out any logical evidence whatsoever to prove this point. A lot of his evidence actually contradicts him. And it's crazy, because he did a video, y'all, and he basically was like, when he did the shroom ceremony, you have a lot of celebrities who talk about their bad trips. But in the video, they literally acknowledged that they knew it was a bad trip. And one person, he coincidentally, even in his bad trip, he had a falling out with one of his friends or whatever. And coincidentally, months after that, they ended up falling out. They weren't friends again, which was a coincidence. But even in that video, they stated that they knew it was a bad trip. They knew that in a bad trip, you have paranoia and you have negative thoughts. And so he's basically trying to prove his point that it was his thoughts that were determined as reality. And it wasn't, because reality means that something physically, or you can actually see it being done. It's an action that you saw. It's an action that you felt. And you had neither of those. You had a thought process, you assumed it, and you were responding in a manner that nobody understood because of this thought, as if people were mind readers or something. Like, I don't understand what you wanted from this situation, but it did not happen. His own words even stated that it did not happen. So I don't even understand how people are even continuing to follow this up. It's so insane to me. Like, we got to do better as a whole, you guys. Logic doesn't mean, logic is not a hard thing to do. You can like a person, you could be cool with a person all day long. But if they tripping out or if something doesn't make sense, just tell them like, look, that don't make sense now. It don't make sense, okay? You could chill from that a little bit. You drifting. I can see where you were trying to have a point, but this point does not make sense. And thus I think you just might want to let this point go. And I understand that you're passionate about it. You ultimately have some emotions towards this situation. I get it. Or this person, I get it. But if you actually think about or even write down what you're saying so that you can reread it to yourself and understand how it is actually a contradiction within the statement that does not make sense whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? As a person that cares about somebody, when we hear somebody that highlights something that doesn't make sense to us, most of the time, a lot of people see that as an attack. And no, I'm not attacking. It can be a place of concern that's just stating like, look, it doesn't make any sense. Okay. It just doesn't, at some point we just got to let it go and move on. You're not making any sense whatsoever. And Kevin says, everything I ever achieved in life was because of my own brilliance. My brilliance brought people from all walks of life, from celebrities to normal people. Saying I'm in the Illuminati is dumb. And my thing about this is, and it is dumb, to tell you the truth. Because in the same instance, they'll say he's not a celebrity. Okay, so if he's not a celebrity, then how can, you know what I'm saying? I thought the Illuminati was celebrities. But then they'll say, well, everybody that's in the Illuminati aren't celebrities too. Okay, I get it. I don't want to argue that. I can't tell you anybody that is in the Illuminati because I'm not in the Illuminati. But what I can tell you is, if you wanted to prove that Kevin was in the Illuminati, I wouldn't give the story that you've been given, because it don't make sense. And that's why it doesn't get anywhere. And the fact that you hung out with him for 2 years, and your family was around him, your wife was around him, y'all had smoked before, y'all had, you hung out before, y'all went to different trips and different events. You get what I'm saying? You would have had more instances of him possibly being in the Illuminati, except for one bad trip on mushrooms, if you ask me. You get what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And you said that they were trying to sacrifice you to the Illuminati, but you actually made it out. And not only did you make it out, but you've been able to use this information for years to taunt him. And you said out of your own mouth that you felt like Dwight Howard had a lot of money because he was in the NBA and he had a lot of power and he can make people disappear. Well, with the accusations that you've been placing out on him and Kevin, and you ain't disappeared yet, I don't see no Illuminati. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Okay? Shoot, Dwight Howard has cases on him right now that he ain't even made disappear. So let's just be real. Let's just be honest. And then Miss Lady Love, Texas Bama, I'm going to make it, although I wanted to stay in my bed. Thank you. Yes. And Kevin, they all were drawn to me by my teachings and thoughts and talks. Yes, that's all. They all met. They all met him through his works. He was already working. He was already doing his thing. Being around Kevin Wesley, I honestly can feel like they felt like they were in there or something. You get what I'm saying? Because ultimately all of them had selfish reasonings as to why they were upset with him. Some people, they wanted to, he didn't have any money or this and that. And it's just like, you let yourself down because you saw his works, You saw his efforts and what he was doing, to begin his brand and entrepreneurship, to expand in his life and his career. And you thought that it was going to be a walk in the park being his friend, and that you were going to be set up to sell. And because that didn't happen for you, because you realized that it actually took work, you get what I'm saying? You fell short of yourself. You let yourself down. And your resentment, you're hating and blaming him for it. V. Bennett, if it wasn't the Illuminati, it would be for some other reason. They throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, out of jealousy. That's what it looks like to me. Right. Exactly, V. Yeah, it's crazy. And then Jackie says, this man sounds like he is experiencing nothing but jealousy. And that's what I want people around him to like tell him, like, as a friend, like, look, bro, come on. Just take a deep breath. Just let it go. Breathe in, breathe out. Like, really take a step back at what you have been doing these last couple of years. Take a step back at what you have been saying, the information that you've been saying. You get what I'm saying? At some extent, it becomes an agenda. Even if you have a passionate emotion towards Kevin, you just can't stand him. It becomes an agenda. You get what I'm saying? That is an attack. And you can't say, well, he's attacking me. He's coming after me and doing this and doing that. You placed out accusations that he has to clear up. What part of that are we not understanding? Bro, if you let it go, it becomes easier. You know? And then Kevin says, they criticize how I talk and how I think. These are my gifts. And this is what they once loved about me. Yes. And then a lot of people have said it, so I'm not speaking in specific to anyone, but I've heard a lot of people say, well, you've changed. Your content isn't the same. The information isn't the same. The way you dressed isn't the same, and it's kind of like, is that the reason to taunt me with these accusations? Is that fair? And was I supposed to stay who I was as I was progressing in life and not actually be in the position of where I have become accomplished? And you got to think, we getting older. We all are growing in age and in life. What I look like walking around at 34 years old and acting like I was 21 in college. Those dresses that I used to wear out to the club, I can't fit no dresses no more. And if I could, I wouldn't wear them because I have changed. Whether you may see it for the better or the worse, it is my journey. It is my choice. It is my decision. It should be no one's problem. You don't like my growth, but let's just stick to the topic of your growth. Are you in the same space that you were in when we departed ways? Because that ultimately lets me know that the change in me is only affecting you because you realize that nothing much has changed in you. And then, let me see. Say that man is obsessed. They can all say their life is better because of me, and yet they run me down. I've helped millions, and I am who I said I am. I guess a handful of complainers is okay. You know what, Kevin? That's true. Because it's millions of people who can be a testament to your insight and say, man, because you know what, Kevin's information, whether you look at one piece of information or all of it, you get what I'm saying? That one piece that one person may have seen, it's a form of insight that makes them see something in a different perspective. That's content. That is content. to have someone say, I didn't think about it like this before, or to have someone say, oh, this is a refresher because I agree. You get what I'm saying? That's a positive effect. And it's inevitable. You cannot take that from Kevin. Kevin has had that on a lot of people that has come across his content. Kevin says he hasn't seen me in 6 years now. Think about that. He's obsessed. Most definitely. Most definitely. At this point, it's kind of undeniable. It's kind of like a sick obsession. And not to say anything hateful towards him, but there's no other way you can quite explain certain things, because I've never seen it before in life, you know, and I've had my fair share of stalkers, let me tell you. But this is extreme, you know? It's really extreme. It's like, what are we doing at this point? We cannot encourage this. But not only that, within this entire saga, some people have been letting it go when it comes to the topic of Kevin. You know, I've seen some people kind of, you know, letting it go. They may say their sly comments, but they've been letting it go. And you want to know why? Not because they've been persuaded or anything. I'm not sure of it. And not because they probably changing their mind about not liking Kevin. But it's a human thing to understand. What is understood is understood. And I don't have to continue to just, you know, become obsessed and stalk someone and just do the most. Like, at some point you have to let it go. Let it go, bro. Like, let it go. and I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And if Kevin is to get anyone involved as far as legal actions, you know, it won't be hard for them to see, like, no, he tripping. And it's to a point where it's dangerous. I don't know if Kevin feels as if he's in danger, but it is dangerous, you know, to have this type of attention from a specific person or a specific group of people, you know, for years. It is dangerous. It's not safe. It's not okay. I mean, we have to continue to keep Kevin and his family and Brother LaTruth and everyone in our prayers, okay? Because to have such a form of an obsession like this, you know, he may not see it. He may even publicly deny it. But y'all, his content, every time he goes on a platform, most of the things that he speaks of, on and off for years, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of you know, it's not normal. It's not normal, okay? But y'all, I hope I showed enough information. Kevin says they call lying on people the universe is universing. The universe don't need their no help. Hold on, wait a minute. The universe don't need their help. Let the universe, if I've done wrong, it will catch up on its own, most definitely. And you know what, to tell you the truth, the universe has definitely been giving you you know, insight of the greatness that you have done, right? So, you know, the universe is universing, but they're not, I don't think they're completely aware of the universe universing, because the more that they speak of these things, the more ignorant they look. And ignorant is not bad. It's just a lack of understanding and a lack of knowledge. So please don't catch offense, because a lot of people, they become emotional when it comes to specific terms. But I'm just saying, it makes no sense. It just doesn't make any sense, y'all. And that's coming from a place of love. Like, seriously, we got to cut it out as adults. And so to say that the universe is universing, it most definitely is. It is definitely showing you and it is showing Kevin. And you cannot say that, and there's a clear, defined line between Kevin and his accusers that people can clearly see. It's evident. Kevin speaks from a place of knowledge and high education. And then you have Callie who say, I'm from the streets and this is how I talk. Well, truth be told, a lot of us are from the streets. Kevin didn't grow up with a spoon in his mouth or with a silver spoon in his mouth. Okay. Everybody knows the story of Kevin and his siblings and how they were raised. So yeah, no. Okay. My grandma always told me it's not where you live, it's how you live. Okay. Wisdom is to not become or adapt to your environment, but it is for your environment to adapt to you. I'm going to be who I am regardless of where I am. That is how the universe works. Okay. And universe be universing by showing and allowing you to express your ignorance in such a manner so that people need to become more aware of self so that they can be aware of your ignorance and get away. That's how the universe. And then Kevin's universing, he's still progressing. His platforms are still growing. His work is still growing. He's getting acknowledgement from celebrities, from high places. You know, he's still, throughout all of this, he's still continuing to have opportunities. So, you know, yeah, the universe is most definitely doing that. So technically, yes, the universe had exposed Callie. Yes. Yes. Kevin says, Callie said his connects more with Toya. He connects more with Toya. We grew up in the same house. And did he forget he was calling me best friend until the day we fell out? He's saying that he connects with Toya, and I get it. But see, one thing about Toya has a lot of wisdom. Okay? Toya has a lot of wisdom. I'm talking from Toya to Don to Kevin to LaTruth. They have wisdom. When I look at some of the information from Callie, you know, it seems as if it's wisdom, but me personally, from my own observation, no offense to anybody, okay, I take it as a form of manipulation because his wisdom doesn't necessarily reflect in his life or his actions. And then he comes up with excuses as to why certain things occur instead of realizing that he's the actual problem as to why those things occurred. You get what I'm saying? But peace to everyone. I'm coming back live more often, y'all. And I'll definitely be back. Because the universe gonna be universing over here. You feel what I'm talking about? If anybody came in a little late, a lot of the important information was played in the beginning of this video. So hit the replay. Y'all catch the beginning. I'm going to be back very soon because, like I said, I want to get into the hate speech and the hate crime. And I want to highlight specific topics on, you know, self-awareness and, you know, getting more clarity of having boundaries and, you know, creating a healthy environment for everyone, regardless of our personal feelings towards situations. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Shout out to y'all. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Lacey. Thank you, V. Thank you, Lakeisha. Thank you, Divinely. Who I'm missing? Thank you, Lady Love. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Negro Raph. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. Who else am I missing? Thank you, Texas Bama. Texas Bama. Every time I see your name, I think of the Beyonce song. Texas Bama. I like my baby hair with baby hair afro. Okay, y'all. And then I thank everybody for coming. Shout out to everybody. I'll see y'all again soon. I'm definitely gonna build this platform. Miss White, thank you for coming through. I appreciate every last one of y'all. If I miss your name, please charge it to my don't charge it to my heart. Thank you so much.